What market should I look in? What market should I look in? Depends on your strategy. Long-term strategy, short-term strategy. Short-term strategy, what I call a short-term strategy is where you're identified a certain markets that either you live within driving distance in, or maybe where you were born, or maybe where you were raised, or where you have family. Those markets I consider long-term markets. What I mean, and I think I may have said short-term, but long-term markets. Now, what I mean by that is those are places you're going, you know the area, you know the city, you can, or you're close to it, or you see lots of opportunity in those areas. So you're going to drill deeper in those areas. You're going to call owners, build rapport, maybe ask them to tour the facility. You're going to play the more local kind of approach. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The long-term strategy here would be, again, having lunch, coffee, going and asking an owner to show them their facility, build enough rapport that when they go to sell, they're going to call you first. Remember, 7 to 13 times before somebody remembers you. Now, on the long-term rapport building and the long-term strategy also would be a broker, right? So you build relationships with certain brokers. You're very clear, crystal clear on your criteria, your buy box. And that broker, you build enough rapport over the years or the months, whatever, that when they find a deal that actually fits your buy box or criteria, that they're going to remember you, right? They're going to call you. So what market should you look in? Meaning, what are the, okay, so that would be long-term strategy. Now let's focus more on the short-term strategy, and then maybe we'll connect these two together, connect these two strategies together a little bit. A lot of times, people ask, well, what are the good markets? Well, it really depends. It depends on your strategy, because good markets, in my opinion, just mean over 15,000 square feet, over 15,000 population. If they're out in the middle of nowhere, I prefer over 20,000 in population. But if they are like a bedroom community of a bigger city than 15,000 population and under, I'm okay with, meaning they're right next to a big city. Otherwise, I like to see, if they're all standalone city, not near anything, I like to see at least 20,000. That's just me. But also good markets. Look, if you're not developing and you're not converting and you're not going and raising millions and millions of dollars for these long-term plays, a development and a conversion are long-term plays. You're not going to see a return in your capital for 2 to 3 years, right? Maybe longer. So with those markets, you're going to do more market research. You're going to want to go to markets that you really especially feel really good about. But in our case, I'm just looking for low-hanging fruit. I'm looking for opportunities that I can go buy any city that most likely and usually I've never heard of, buy a mom and pop value add and end up making anywhere from 2, 3, 500,000 to millions of dollars on. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the value add and the facility that's at a deep discount. And therefore, I don't necessarily care where it is. Look, I don't buy in too small of a city. I don't buy in a severely declining population. But otherwise, if I find a mom and pop value add opportunity that's going to make me a lot of money, I don't care where I look, right? I don't care where it is. Make your money go in, right? So let's put all this together. So where do I look? What markets? I don't know. Choose a few. Choose a few you're near. I'm going to show you really quick on Google Maps what I like to do. But again, and then the long-term strategy and the short-term strategy, we talked about the long-term. The short-term strategy, I consider more of a shotgun approach. We're cold calling the country. Maybe you're sending letters, postcards, looking for to be at the right place at the right time where you contact or follow up with that owner and you hit them at the right place at the right time. Shotgun approach, looking everywhere, just hoping and looking for the deep discount. That's what I'd call short-term shotgun approach, okay? Now, over time, as you build your Rolodex of leads, that shotgun approach, maybe you'll get a deal that you've actually been, had in your Rolodex for 2 or 3 years. But looking for deals now, everywhere we can. Again, back to that point, it doesn't necessarily matter the market. Now, let's jump on here. Google Maps. You guys have probably seen it before, but I'm just going to take, I'm going to show you Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay, so Albuquerque, New Mexico, here's the city, and then it's desert, and there's mountains, and there's nothing really around here except for Los Lunas, which is a great market, by the way. But other than that, there's just nothing for a long time. There's Santa Fe, which is small. Las Cruces is larger, but there's just not a lot of city. So The opportunity in Albuquerque is limited. You got city, you got bigger operators. The more dense city and bigger population, the more operator, the more experienced operator or REIT. And you're competing, you know, a lot of times, a lot of these other facilities here have been called more often than sometimes the facilities on the outskirts of cities. But that doesn't mean there's not opportunity in a city like this, because there is. Now, let's take Cincinnati for an example. And I don't know Cincinnati well, but I just remember there's a lot of opportunity, what I feel like around there. So here's Cincinnati. You have the city, and again, gray city, but then look at all the pockets of population around there, all over the place. Wilmington, then it connects to Daytona and Troy and Springfield and all these. That's what I consider lots of opportunity. Why? Because you have a dense population, but you don't necessarily have a lot of REITs. Now, it doesn't mean there's not opportunity in Cincinnati, but I like these little areas. I like all the little meaty areas outside bigger markets, right? So I'll show you more of a specific example. Click on Middleton. And I love that it's between two big cities. So it's a lot of commuter traffic. Again, dense population, but not necessarily the competition. So we're going to do nearby. We're going to do self-storage. Okay, so there's REITs here. We see it, but then you'll find people with no website, with hardly any reviews, your mom and pop. I'm going to go over mom and pop and how to identify mom and pop operators in a different video. It'll be labeled how to, how to establish what a mom and pop, how to identify a mom and pop facility. But anyway, the point is there's a lot of population here, but there's not a lot of big REITs. Your chances of finding a mom and pop, look at this, no website, no website, no website. These are all mom and pop operators. That's what we're looking for. So to button this idea up, I'll give you an example. Out of the 15 facilities I've been a part of, probably 13 of them were in cities you've never heard of. Which means if you go into with a mentality of like, I'm going to go in the hot cities, I'm going to go in, or I'm only going to go here, here, and here, well, then that means you're looking at an opportunity that's this big instead of potential opportunity in areas you've never heard of, right? And I've found those areas, the majority of them, on Google Maps, right? So we're zooming around. Cleveland, let's go into Cleveland real quick. Boom, big population, but look at all these little pockets outside it. Plenty of people. Look at all these. Watch Youngstown. I've never looked here, but I just have a feeling. Now it's going to have some REITs because it's big enough. U-Haul, but mom and pop, 6 reviews. Mom and pop. Blue Star, 2 reviews. Mom and pop. Uncle Joe's mom and pop. See, Uncle 7 reviews. Mom and pop, no reviews. No website. These are all opportunities, guys. So what markets do you look in? Identify your strategy. Is it long-term? Is it short-term? Are you going to drill deeper in certain areas that you live close by or you feel good about? Yes, that's the long-term play. And are you going to build relationships with brokers? Yes, that's a long-term play. When you're reaching out to a broker, remember to watch the buy box video. It's video to help with your criteria, your buy box. But if it's a shotgun approach like us, we're looking for all sizes of facilities because if we don't buy them, we're going to wholesale them. And we don't necessarily care where we look. We're hitting everywhere. We're looking for the opportunity, not the market. The disclaimer is I don't buy in severely shrinking markets or markets that have too small of a population. Guys, hope that helps. Helps. We'll see you on the next video.